a good time. Put a smile on your face, yeah. Can be Cam and Elation Radio. Even brighten your day and help you through the night. Bring you good music. Can be Cam and Elation Radio. And here's your host, Kimmy Kim.
Do you have an upcoming event? Well, I encourage you to book Beyond Defense Family for an amazing experience. Beyond Defense is a talented group of men and women who have toured the world to display their talents of song and ministry. Did I forget to mention multi-award winners? They're your one-stop shop for making your event the best in the city. Book Beyond Defense today at beyonddefense.org. Click menu, then contact. Beyond Defense, your audience will thank you.
Welcome to Beyond the Radio.
Welcome to Beyond the Radio. And you better be smiling.
Beyond the Fences in the building.
Hey. Welcome.
It's your main man, David Benton, and I am in the building. Welcome to Beyond the Radio. Shout out to the Elation family. Yes, I'm in the building, and I'm up here live tonight, y'all. I just came from an interview. Focus for Robin. So I'm out here, but you know what? I'm here, you guys. I will not miss. I said I would not miss. Right here live in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I'm from. She come from Las Vegas today. She flew in. Shout out to Robin Shockley. We're focused for Robin. We came here. We listen to live music. It's called Preservation Pub on Market Square, Knoxville, Tennessee. And we are having a good time tonight. But I told them, listen, I got to be obedient. I got to do what I have to do because it's about commitment. So I came outside today right here on Market Square, right here in Knoxville, and I said I'm still going to go live because I got to do what's important. That's right. So we got a wonderful show for you tonight, and I am crunk, and I'm hyped, and I'm so excited to be right here with you guys tonight. So we're just going to get to it. Can I get a drum roll? Shay Samuels, are you in the building?
Shay Samuels is in the building, and I'm smiling.
Hey. Go Shay. Shay, how you doing, Shay? Or shall I say
good.
Coach Shay?
That's right. You better get it right. Coach Shay, you didn't.
Coach Shay.
Coach Shay. Shout out to Kimmy, Kim, and the Elation family. We love you guys, and to all the listeners.
Yeah.
We definitely missed you all, and just happy to be back on. But I'm doing good. I'm good. You know, the song says it. I'm good. I got a good job. Bills are paid. Family's good. Health is good. I just thank God that I'm good.
I'm good, and my family's good. Yep, I'm good. I thank God that I'm good. Hey, that's my cousin.
I love it.
So, Shay, talk to us about your weekend.
My weekend was absolutely fabulous. In fact, the last couple of weeks have been fabulous. As you know, we're recording the About Me EP that's soon to come out. Working on some videos for the artists, and Amma Neely and G. Will and you and myself, you know, just expanding. But the weekend was really, really great. Got a chance to meet some wonderful people this past weekend, and excited about what's going to take place as far as, you know, Beyond the Fence as our growth and us helping other artists grow as well.
Awesome. Well, Shay, are you ready to have this wonderful show tonight? Because, you know, we got to finish up from our topic. Yeah,
I do, but I want to ask you how your weekend was, Mr. Benton. How was your weekend?
Well, my weekend was pretty superb. You know, I've got a chance to run into some old friends. You know, of course, we all know, I always tell my testimony. I was incarcerated for 13 years in federal prison. And, you know, with that, you know, I ran into some guys that I knew from back then, during the time with them. And you know, I ran into them. I got a chance to speak and have a good time with them. And, you know, we did some catching up. So that was a good thing. That was a good thing. So I did have a good time. So, you know, that was a blessing just to see these guys. And to be honest, Shay, just to see everybody on the outside. You know, all of us is doing good. All of us is doing positive things. Despite your background, despite where you're from, we had a chance to really have a good time, to catch up. Yeah. So that was a blessing. I don't take it for granted. So I had a good time.
That's good. Well, I'm ready for the show. I'm ready for the recap, and I'm ready to get to teaching some of the listeners tonight.
Yes. Well, you know, we left off before. We had talked about what's in the dark will come to the light. What comes in the dark, what's in the dark will come to the light. Shay, do you want to do your part of the recap? because I'm going to do mine after you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I was actually talking about character when we last talked about this, basically just allowing people to see who you are wholeheartedly. What you do behind the scenes will come out in the front, in the forefront eventually. So you have to be mindful that you are 100% you every day, every hour, every second of the day. You have to make sure that you're 100% you. David, social media really gives us a chance to be something that we're not. A lot of people see people on Facebook and social media, Instagram, YouTube. It gives you a platform to be something that you wholeheartedly may not be.
Yes.
And so when people meet you at times, they're expecting that very thing. They're expecting that smile. They're expecting that genuine personality. They're expecting that. But when they see you in person, they may not get it. But here's what the darkness is. The darkness within the dark comes out in the light. It's the unexpected things that we don't think about. It's the times where we don't think that people are going to see us. That's the darkness. That's the darkness. The darkness is I can hide it as long as they don't see me. But what happens when you're in an environment where you don't know you're going to meet this person one day? Let me tell you, I remember being in Savannah, and I remember walking down the mall in Savannah a few years ago, and because of Facebook, somebody had noticed me, and they ended up inboxing me and said, I think you just walked by me, right? Well, had I not been who I claimed to be, had I not been that person, they could have seen a totally different side of who I portrayed to be. You get what I'm saying? I could have been talking a way that I normally don't talk, or people don't see me talking. I could have been dressed a way that people don't normally see me dressing. My demeanor and behavior could have been totally left field, right? But I do believe that you have to be able to be 100% genuinely you. Eyes are watching, ears hear everything. So you never want to be caught off guard that who you are in the dark appears in the light, in the forefront.
Okay, I hear ya. Yes. I totally agree. That was powerful, Shay. Yeah, that was
Well, thank you, David. Well, thank you.
I don't remember you saying all that. That was better than the recap.
Well, the recap always has to be better.
Yes, that was definitely better. Normally, we do the recap, then we go in on the meat part of the teaching, but you went straight in on the meat, and I'm like sitting up here like in awe, like, well, that was awesome. That was awesome. So, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my part of what my recap. And like you said, we was talking about character, of course. And when it comes to character, one thing about character, no one can see your light until you put it into action. So what I mean is, what's in the dark is your thoughts, right?
That's good.
No one can see your thoughts. No one knows what you're thinking. It's all darkness to me. I have the slightest idea. I can be right there with a person. When you first meet a person, you have the slightest clue who they are. Everything is dark to you. Everything. You can't see them for who they are. Why? Because they have not put anything into action. So if a person is quiet, have you noticed when a person is very quiet, they're more mysterious? So you're trying to get a chance to know that person. I want to know more about this person. The person don't talk much. They really don't do much. They don't really come around. So you don't really make too much of a judgment call based on the light that they're presenting, because it's dark to you, the inside of their thoughts. Now, have you noticed that we'll get a chance to know someone? Everybody got a clean slate when you first meet them. Everybody got a clean slate. And I want to know, Shay, even yourself, have you ever met someone, right? Once you meet them, you like, this person is not like I thought they were.
Yes.
you know, whether it's a job, you know what I'm saying, whether it's a supervisor, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, or just a person you grew up with in school, a person, or you know what, when I came home from federal prison, people that I grew up with, and I barely could relate. I really couldn't relate to them anymore because I had a paradigm shift. Like my mind is totally not the same. So now they see my new character. I really have a new light. So I didn't really know who they were anymore. Everything that I remember, you know, about them, it was like kind of obsolete due to the fact of who I've become today. So what I'm saying is, like, you can first meet somebody, everything is dark because you don't really know who that person is. But then when that character, when they start showing their actions in their character, we only know who's, and these are air quotes, who we would call good and who we would call evil, or a person that have this acting in what we would call sin or righteousness. It's all dark to us until they show us that by their actions. So the Bible says, don't just be a reader of the word, be a doer. Why? Because when you be a doer, you can act in righteousness and you'll present a certain type of light that God wants you to represent. Correct? Especially if you say you're following the Bible.
Yeah.
So when I read that and they say what you do in the dark will come into a light, the darkness is your thoughts, and that's the first thing I see, because you really don't know who a person is. So we all know that you reap and sowing. You sow an action. You sow a thought, reap an action. You sow an action and reap a habit. You sow a habit and you reap a character. You sow a character and reap a destination. And what I mean is, the Bible says you judge a tree by its fruit. So when I was incarcerated, watch this, before I got incarcerated for selling drugs. So the thing about it is, it ain't like I was taught to sell drugs by my mom. My mom was an evangelist. She taught me righteousness. I saw a mother who was praying, fasting, doing everything that I felt that was by the book, according to my paradigm. So I was taught a certain way with morals, principles to live by, and to guide me the correct path. But I chose my own path. So I thought about selling drugs. I put it into action. That action made me do it repetitiously because the money came. So guess what? That became a habit of mine. Due to that poor habit of hurting my community, it became my character. So my character, they say, well, he's a drug dealer. That became my character to people. He's a drug dealer. He's a gangbanger. My destination became prison, right? But once I went to prison, I had, because the power of God and that He gave me to be able to trample on scorpions and snakes. The same scorpions and snakes is inside your mind. So when I did a transformation of the mind, of my mental, then that's when I had a new thought. I started reaping new actions. That's when I started going behind the fence, right? That's when I started going beyond my fence. Because who I used to be, I wasn't anymore. So I started putting on more of what we would call righteousness in the eyes of men. So just because I started thinking different, now I have a new light. My light is not as dim to people. My light doesn't, because sometimes your light can be so bright it can shine. It can shine so bright it can blind somebody, right? And it ain't good to blind somebody. So my light was shining, but it was blinding. It was manipulative. It was cunning. It wasn't healthy. But then I had a new light. It wasn't dim and it wasn't too bright. It was just right. So people could see me and be able to follow and me put righteousness in its right perspective, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny you said that, in doing the Motivational Mondays, preparing for Monday Motivational Moments, I was actually talking today about the light, and I was talking about a friend of mine who has 2 light bulbs sitting on a chair, and one light bulb is actually white, the light bulb that we're used to, and then one is a clear. I think it's an incandescent light bulb.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about these 2 light bulbs pretty much all week and why those 2 light bulbs were sitting there that way. And I get a message just about on everything. And the message was entitled Shine Bright. Just shine bright. Well, here's the thing. The reality of it is each light has its own purpose. Each light bulb, it has one purpose, and it's to shine. That's it.
Yes.
And those 2 light bulbs, as they lie by one another, it wasn't one like, well, you know what, I look better than you, so I'm gonna be in the living room. You be in the bathroom, I'm gonna be in the living room. They just lied right next door to one another, and they sat there. But here's the reality. I said, just because one light, based on the room that you're in, it might be too bright because of the space you're in. And it's funny you just said it, but it could blind you based off of the room that you're in, though. Doesn't mean that it's still not effective. It doesn't mean that the room is, that the light is not bright enough. Some lights require intimacy. Some rooms require a certain level of intimacy with the light, right? Some lights require that. And it doesn't mean that you're low or dark, put it that way. I'm saying it low wattage. It doesn't mean that you're dark. It just means that the space requires what you have. The light that you have is required for that setting, if that makes sense. So it's ironic that you said that without knowing that that's the motivational moment. So I had to share that.
Won't he do
Thank
it?
you, David.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? That's how the spirit works. That's how the spirit works, though. So, and it's something, right? Because our kings and queens, men and women of God, everyone who's listening tonight, and the ones who's going to listen later on, this is what we want people to recognize. Especially in the body. We when God say He wants your light to shine, we have to be careful on how we want our light to shine, because a lot of us, we say, I shine bright, and you feel that your light is shining so much better than someone else's light, and you got the brightest light in the world. What we just talked about. And Shay, when you drive a car, have you ever, when somebody turn their high beams on, you complain like, why they got them high beams on? I can't even see. The high beams is cool when it's in a dark area that needs it. But when another car is coming that also has light, when you turn your lights on to be brighter than theirs, it blinds the other person. So your light really is not having no value to it. There's no balance. Because if
in the message, I say that my equilibrium is going to go off because the lighting with the down, there's no balance. David, you better get out of my motivational moment. I love it. I love it. The example I use the baseball field, because I'm saying, how when the lights finally have to come on, your eyes are adjusted to the regular natural light, and then when it gets dark, those baseball lights come on, boom, and they're just too bright for you. The reality of it is that based on the wattage of the light bulb, again, I go on room space. You can shine bright in a room fitting for your light, but it doesn't mean that because you don't fit in a specific area because your light's bright in one specific area, that it's not meant to shine. So I love it because going back to the light bulbs on my friend's chair, going back to those light bulbs, they were equal in their own value, right? They were designed with one purpose, and it was just to shine, uniquely made. Because one, of course, was a different wattage, I'm sure. The other one was a different design. But they have one purpose, and that is just to shine.
Yes. And you know what, Shay? The reason, I'm going to be so honest about this, the reason why I'm saying this, it really hurts to hear and see people who, you know, you have people who brag about how bright their light is. You know, like, I shine bright, and God has me here. You know, the Lord got me shining this bright. You know, and they claim to shine so bright. They have no value. The reason I say this is because I've seen people who get caught up on the title. I've seen, you know, where this man, he's a, whether people appointed him or self-proclaimed, but some people say, okay, this guy go by the name of Prophet such and such. So Prophet such and such feels like, okay, well, I have the name of Prophet. Because I have this name, this title of Prophet, this regular evangelist has no reason to tell me anything. Like, how can I learn from this evangelist? He's just an evangelist, you know. Or I might have this bishop, and he have his own church, and say, well, I'm a bishop. I have my own church. This man is just a regular minister. So they feel that they have what we would call more rank. And what bothered me about this, especially if you a person is I've seen an apostle, right? Well, I'm an apostle. A bishop has no right to tell an apostle, thus saith the Lord. And I felt it was unfair because that's not what the Bible says. Because if you notice that here it was, David was the king, but when they gave David an example of another man or king being rude or ill-mannered to someone else, and David was like, yeah, that person is wrong, that man is wrong, I would cut his head off, and I would just do this, and then that man said, well, David, that's you. Even though David was the king, that doesn't mean that David couldn't accept constructive criticism. And construct is not to tear you apart. It's just to reconstruct your mindset, to do a rebuild, meaning you was already built before, but you have to be rebuilt. So God put people in place for us to bless us, to be able to share one another's ministries so we all can grow simultaneously. That's what it's about. So if you have one person who might lighter than the next light, then it does no good if you got your high beams on and y'all both are crossing one another's path. You're only blinding the next person. So it does it has no value to it. Y'all can still have an accident and run into each other with your bright light. That's what I want everyone to understand, to have some balance. God set you apart. The light that you have is for you to bless others. The gifts that we have is to bless others. And to be honest, Shay, I'm not ashamed to say this. I'm not going to sit up here and hold my tongue. It's wrong. It's rude. It does nothing for people to bless people. And yes, I do talk like I talk because I want to hold people accountable. Why? Because I hold myself accountable as well. You know, if I come into a room, I have confidence in myself, but I'm not having so much confidence in myself that I look down on other people. That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. You know, we got to have balance to be able to bless and love one another. To look everybody and understand that God gave us all gifts and we're all capable of blessing one another. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Did you want to expound on that? Really?
Well, it's 10:29, so we're going to take a music break.
Yeah, it is 10:29. You know, I can go all the way to 11 o'clock with this subject because it is important, and I say this because I love people. I love every last one of you who's listening. I appreciate you guys. I do not take it for granted. But y'all, let's just love one another. And let's have some balance in who God created you to be. So, with that being said, DJ, can we have some what we call music? So, where the music? Where the music?
Where the music at? Where the music?
Ooh.
Some people hate me, but it don't hurt to know. Don't even face. I'm created. My feelings don't know. You can't replace. Mama that made me a king to protect all of my queens. Life is worth saving. More than me, easier than me, and all of my team. I'm amazing. Cause my daddy is king, your daddy was king. Fruits don't fall from a tree. The devil can shatter my dreams, I know. What tragedy brings, I know. What matters to me, my family first. That's why I'm planting my seeds. Raise them, be better than me. I'm breaking that curse. Now that I'm free, no longer in bondage. I'm paying homage to the ones who before me, who went up in glory. My spirit is shining. I'm changing my climate. I'm praying to God, I worship the finest. I walk on the streets of gold, I cover the diamonds, being so modest. I gotta be honest, I gotta stay positive. Got my son with me, gotta stay humble. I'm ready to rumble with life till God come get me. Free of the mind, it's freedom is mine, look. Having fun with it, dropping them jewels, so to mentally climb, look. Better run with it. I'm amazing. Jumping for the birds, sun's out, guns out, coming through with my best verse. Feeling so amazing, I'ma say it till my chest hurt. Dropping with my windows down, then I make that left turn. Some people say you can do what you wanna do. My daddy says you can be what you wanna be. I'm DB, everyone wishing they be like me. I'm blessed, I'm free, that's the recipe. Life sesame, still bother to be a pleasure me. They let it be, but I see what's the best for me. Remedy, still healing for the age of 3. Got my treasure and I found the key, boy. Tell her later I made her feel underrated though. Hit my shot like that fed and I never waited, no. I'm a head on the flater, but that's the way to go. I'm a bills out the paid, don't wanna miss a loan. Feeling so amazing and I'm feeling so incredible. My daddy did his time and now he's free from all the federals. Now I'm gonna mention something very hypothetical. Feeling leadership within me, feeling so perpetual. Cherish all your memories, it's inevitable. I wanna be an inspiration, very unforgettable. My family taught me how to be wise and respectable. Open up the gates and now my options are accessible. I'm amazing. Amazing.
your words. Girl, you're so beautiful, 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 beautiful. Girl, you are so beautiful, beautiful, God. He gave you everything. He gave you the pearls, the fur, the diamond necklace, and the ring. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Beyond the Radio.
Welcome to Beyond the Radio, and you better be smiling.
Beyond the Fence is in the building. Welcome back to Beyond the Radio with your host, your main man, David Benton, is in the building, and I'm your co-host, Shay Samuel. Shout out to all the Beyond the Fence family, Kimmy Robinson of the Elations family, G. Will, artist G. Will, and Amma Neely. We appreciate all that you guys do, and we love you, and we can't wait to have you back in the building. But we're going to go ahead and give the sponsors a shout-out. Shout out to Paula G. Voice, Lady Wisdom After Midnight. You all heard that fabulous commercial in the beginning. If you are looking for a voiceover, people, it is time to up our games. It's time to up our games. Just like there's independent artists, there's independent voiceovers such as Paula G. Voice, Lady Wisdom After Midnight. If you're looking for quality voiceovers for your commercials, for your spots, for your radio drops, Paula G. Voice is the voice you want to have on your stations. Reach out to her at paulag@paulagvoice.com or paulagvoice.com and let her know that Beyond the Fence sent you. It is time for you to up your game with these voiceovers. So we want you guys to know that Paula G. Voice is available for you guys to have all of your commercials done with quality work. Go back and listen to the tape. Paula G. is where you want to be. And without further ado, David, can I get a drum roll? Yes, Let's Talk Business Consulting Strategy and Coaching Group, LLC, the Beyond the Fence expansion. Yay, yay. Are you looking to do something different with your business, strategizing? Are you looking to rebrand? Are you looking for a vision to come up to make your vision plain? Let's talk business. That's what we do. Contact us today for your consultation. If you hear it on this radio show, say that you heard it on Beyond the Radio for your free consultation at aboutbuildingleaders@gmail.com. David, I have to say I'm excited. We're starting our first 4 weeks tomorrow of a new mentorship with our youthpreneurs. Yes. We have a youth mentorship program for youthpreneurs. What's that? Youth who are entrepreneurs. These children are smart. They are bold, and they are definitely walking out their purpose. So shout out to our current youthpreneur leaders and the ones who are coming in tomorrow. If you're interested in getting your youth signed up for the mentorship coaching program, you can also email us at aboutbuildingleaders@gmail.com. I'm excited about the next class coming in, and I'm excited for those who are there. They are learning so much. So for more details, again, that's aboutbuildingleaders@gmail.com. It's summer, and your youthpreneur is going to need something to do to keep their brain sharp. Why not have them in a program that's going to make sure that they're not only doing well within their businesses, but at home as well? So, David, that's my time. I'm sending it back to you.
All right. I appreciate that, Shay. And that is definitely important. I like what you was talking about with the children, or the youth. It's not just about just entrepreneurship. Like I like what you said about home. It's been a blessing to see these young men and women do better at home, not just school, but at home. You know, being more responsible around the house, and when parents recognize that, it's definitely a blessing.
Yes, and shout out to the parents too, David, because the parents definitely have to trust us doing what we do, but they are seeing a difference and they are pushing their children way beyond what they even think that they can. So the parents are learning as well. So shout out to the youthpreneur parents as well.
Yes, but Shay, it's really back to you, because I know that you have a lot to say as well on. If you just now coming back in with us right here on Beyond the Radio, we are talking about how the Bible says what you do in the dark will be exposed to the light. So Shay, do you want to expound on that? Because I really went pretty much in depth first half.
Yeah, David, you said a mouthful, and I really do appreciate. The one thing I can say is, you are definitely for the people. And since I've met you, I've realized, there's so many people who sugarcoat the word and so many people who sugarcoat the environments around us. I think we've all grown to understand that the dynamic of word that you bring is really for the people. And everyone has that, they have that, there's movies out there where it's like, well, are they villains or are they for the people? You get what I'm saying? They're doing these vigilantes who are out there and they're doing what they do to save the people. But you know what? They're always for the people. I watched a movie once. I watched a movie a long time ago, and I can't remember what it was, but the woman's daughter, she was killed in battle of something, and she ended up becoming, her goal was to get back at the people who killed her daughter. And she parked in this environment of homeless people who they ended up putting a billboard on the wall of her, because not only did she hide there, but she realized that there was a need there. And so she became the voice for these people, right? But she hid in darkness. She hid in darkness for a reason. She hid there, but she became the people's voice. In order for the police to find out who she was, they couldn't identify. They're looking for this person who had been who had a rap sheet. She didn't have a rap sheet. And so they said, how do we find her? And they said, well, let's start looking for trends in the community. Well, they noticed that there was a trend of crime that just stopped over a certain period of time. And they realized this person had to be there. Do you get what I'm saying? And do you get where I'm going with it? They realized that because this community no longer had the amount of crime that they used to have over a certain period of months, people had to be there. And that's where they found her. So I say this, David, a lot of people like yourself are hidden in the dark. There are people who know that things need to be said for the people. There are people who know that there has to be battles fought for the people, but they're so hidden in the dark and so afraid, not necessarily to battle, but it's really to speak truth. And when people begin to speak truth, that's when they become the people who are in battle. But thank God for people such as yourself. People who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said, not to battle, but to overcome the lies that are being spoken, and those who are wanting to be hid in darkness. So you're bringing to light and you're exposing the darkness. So I wanted to say I appreciate for you. I said that as a mouthful, but I said that in ending because we had the 2 music breaks. So that could have, people had an opportunity to really think about the things that you said. So I wanted to come behind you and say that in doing what you do, you're bringing and exposing what's in the dark to light.
Yes. I appreciate that. And, my heart is in the right place for people. So I just want people to always, like I always say, to be a better version of yourself. To always be better, make your better today be better than your yesterday. It's definitely important. So I want people to have a different mindset, have a paradigm shift. Because, like I said, everything starts with a thought. Everything starts in your mind. So if you have new thoughts, then you're going to have a new action, have a new attitude. You're going to be able to handle things around you better. And people got to understand we are our own worst enemy. We are a problem. We are our own worst enemy. We blame the devil all day without holding ourselves accountable. Because everything we doing, we keeping it inside our mind, inside our mental. But we want to produce good light. We want to be able to make our light shine so it can, like we was talking about earlier at the first half before the break, for the music break, how we do want to have a good balance. We want to have light, but we want that light to be perfect. And what I mean perfect, I don't mean sinless. People say, I'm not perfect. Well, the Bible says, be ye perfect as I am perfect. He called David perfect. He didn't say David was sinless. He didn't want you to be sinless. I said, be ye perfect. I'm sorry. Be ye perfect as I am perfect. So that means where your heart is at, when your heart is in the right place. When you're doing thus said the Lord, that means you're striving to do the right thing. You're striving to have them dark moments, that's the thoughts. When you bring it to light, make sure your action can be justified in righteousness. And that's exactly what I get from that scripture.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that, Shay. We like I said, it's one of those moments. Of course, we come up here, we love to laugh, have a good time, but there are certain things that it really hurts me. You know, it really does bother me, because I want us all to look at one another and realize God has given us all brilliance. He gave us all gifts, gave us all talents. And it's not in our talents, in our titles. Title is just to identify your gift. So if a person say, man, he's a basketball player, well, you may feel that he's going to be a good basketball player by the title. But if you go out there and suck, you can be like, yeah, man, ain't no basketball player. He definitely ain't no professional basketball player. So you identify him by the title. So when you have these titles, there's a responsibility. Mm-hmm. There's a certain responsibility. There's a certain requirement you must have. And one thing you must be able to have is empathy. Not sympathy, but empathy. And what I mean by empathizing is understanding this. This is what empathy is. Meaning that you can understand a situation that you should be able to relate to. What I mean is, we got evangelists, preachers, teachers, prophets, apostles, all these, we have so many names, right? You wasn't born the first day with this title. When you came out your mom's womb, when you was in a hospital, it's not on your birth certificate, apostle or such and such. You were just a person with a first, middle, last name, majority, and we all have a thing called a social security number. So to the government, to be honest, because we all have first and last names that match, my name is David Earl Benton, and there are so many David Earl Bentons out there, I promise. How they identify me is by a number. When I was in prison, 301-95074, that was my federal prison number. 232176, that was my state number. And they said, y'all will never forget this number. Let me tell you why. Because they let us know we're just a number. So when you have your social security number that I won't repeat, you are identified by the government by your social security number. So you are a number. You are a number to the government. But we'll take this title that we're blessed with, Now that you have the title, there's a responsibility. Now you have to understand that, okay, I once was in a certain position that I had to grow to become this person that I am today. Don't forget that you once had to grow. The Bible said when Jesus went to Egypt, he grew in knowledge. He grew. So if Jesus had to grow, and that means he had to grow, but he was willing to grow. The Son of God, the King of the Jews, he was willing to grow. Same people he created, he was willing to receive information from. Well, just like with John the Baptist. John the Baptist told Jesus, you should be baptizing me. He said, no, we'll do it this way. Let me tell you why. Because Jesus was humble. Jesus was empathizing as a human being. So whether you're a pastor, prophet, evangelist, bishop, God holds you accountable. So when you forget that God brought you from somewhere and you also grew in knowledge, that means you must apply the wisdom to make good decisions so you'll be able to bless the people that you're looking down on. That's what we got to do. So when you have that, what's in your thoughts is the darkness. When you bring it to light, you can have so much light, you bringing people back to darkness. That's why the high beams blind people. You went back to darkness. You have so much light, you done blinded somebody.
That's good.
So you have no value. You put them in the dark, but you're so light. Come on now. That's why they say don't look at the sun with your bare eyes. Let me tell you why, because it can blind you. So we're bragging about our light. We're bragging about how bright our light shines. But it has no value if you're blinding people with your light. Supposed to be able to guide them. So if you don't have enough wisdom to dim it down a little bit and use your gift, then you'll be able to guide people properly. And then they will be a light to someone else. Because what's so sad is, Shay, arrogance begat arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Arrogance begat arrogance. So that's what Shay, but go ahead, it's on you. I'm done.
You said a lot.
I know I'm up here walking around. I know my phone probably, you'll be hearing beats. But I've been really just meditating and really just trying to, I'm outside. I'm feeling good. I'm live. Like I said, I'm live right here. And I hope people was blessed by that. But back to you, Shay. And that's my closing. I am done for tonight.
Yeah, I have to say that I was blessed by it, David, and I learned a lot from it. And, I got silent because I think, like you said, sometimes you just really need to sit back and get that teaching. I know that I'm part of the broadcast, but sometimes you do get into those moments and you give a good word. So I do hope that people were blessed by that tonight and that you do understand the importance of not, it just happens that when they hear the motivational moment tomorrow, it's the same exact thing. And I love how the confirmation comes in that we're just on the same page and teaching people in ways that people wouldn't know. We can get on here at times and not know what the next person is going to say. And it happens just about with everything that we do as part of our ministry, that we may not know what the next person is going to say or the next person is going to do, and we're aligned with that. So I love that you reminded all of us to be sure that no matter how high up, I can say that Kimmy is a testament to this. She blessed me so long ago. I say long ago, but it was a few months ago when she talked about her battle with cancer. And she said, I had to be mindful that although I was healed, there were not a lot of people who were. There weren't people who were healed from it. There were family members from it. And her humility and saying, you know, I can celebrate the fact that I've won the battle, but there are a lot of people who didn't. And so that's indicative to who we are as a family and the humility that we have in understanding, and like you used the word empathy, that we should have for one another, you know, and how we celebrate our victories. And so thank you to both you and Kimmy for just reminding us of that.
Thank you as well.
I do want to say that in Romans 12:2, it reminds us to not copy the behavior and customs of the world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good, pleasing, and perfect. And I talked about that today, David, just knowing that so many times because of the way that we are accustomed to the light, right? When you're small, you sang this song, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." And it's the cutest thing. It's the cutest thing. You sang it and you just, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." But as we get older and we start becoming accustomed to the things of the world, and we become accustomed to the way that we do church, and we do become accustomed to the titles, we become accustomed to the building, we become accustomed to what we're taught traditionally, but nobody wants to be truly transformed. When you talk just as you said. You've been transformed in your mind. Going behind the fence has allowed you to see a multitude. When you talk about fellowship with many different religions and fellowshipping with different people who may not have been religious, you've been behind the bars or behind the fence with atheists and people who were able to actually fellowship with you as a believer, right?
Yes.
You had to be transformed in your mind in order to speak on the level that you speak. And so I go back, and my closing is just, again, thank you for being for the people. I do want to encourage everyone that when you hear this broadcast, know that at times we get misconstrued because of the fact that we are so much for the people. We teach beyond the way that we're taught on Sunday and Wednesdays for Bible study and Thursdays, because we really want you to be set free, and we really want you to go beyond your own sense. And so I close with saying, David, thank you for being transformed in your mind and not conforming to the things of this world.
That's right. Yes. Thank you, Shay.
You're welcome. And since I'm closing out, look, everybody, we want to make sure that you guys tune in every Sunday, get more of this teaching, hear the playback, because you might hear something that you did not hear tonight because it was just that exciting. Thank you, Kimmy Robinson. Thank you, Relations family. Thank you so much, David Benton. Again, shout out to the Beyond the Fence family. We love you guys. Tune in every single Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not forget to go to the Beyond the Fence Entertainment page on Facebook, the Beyond the Radio page. Follow us and make sure you connect to everything we're doing throughout the course of the week. All of the vendors and sponsors, we want to say thank you so much. And with that being said, where the music is.
It's your boy David Benton. Hey, yo, Shay. It's time to go beyond the fence. Life is so good. It's so good. Yeah. A merry heart do it good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones, you know. Yeah.
World's greatest DJ. It's about 8 in the morning, I'm just waking up. Got the Folgers on brew, about to fill my cup. While I'm looking out the window, the sun come up. I'm good. It's about 8 in the morning, I'm just waking up. Got the Folgers on brew, about to fill my cup. While I'm looking out the window, let the sun come up. I'm good. I'm about to get my day started. Off to work, about to make some dollars. If only you knew what I've been through, you would smile and say that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my my bills are paid out good, and my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out good. I got food on the table, I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. I thank God I'm good. I thank God I'm good.
Life is so good.
I thank God I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You are magnificent, great. Your feeling is hate, but we're ignorant grace. So intimate place, your heart of innocence make a life different break. This whole sin and the sinners, cause the enemy hate. You are the sun, stars, and the moon. You are the beam of light when it's dark in the room. When I depart from the womb, you're the air that I breathe. Always there when I need you, preparing for peace. You're so good.
I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out good, and my family's good, and my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out good. I got food on the table, I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid out good, and my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm so good, so good, so good, so good. Lord, you've been so good to me. Yes, you have. I'm telling you.